Welcome back, people. It's your boy Ice Blue and my partner
BlackIce.
And you tune back into the Black and Blue podcast. What's going on this week, man?
It's good, man.
There's been a lot of things in the news.
Yeah.
One person that's, I guess he's getting kicked in the grave is the boy Michael Jackson. They released a documentary this week called Leaving Neverland. And it's a documentary about two guys who are accusing Michael of sexually molesting them when they were younger. Guys' names was James Safechuck and Wade Robson. I think Ray Robson actually used to dance with him, was in that little group Quo or whatnot. And the interesting thing is they testified years ago that Michael Jackson never did anything to him. Don't know if it's true, don't know if it's not, but a lot of people, and I can't sit here and say they wrong, saying it looks like it's a money grab. They saying Wade wanted to, direct some projects for Michael Jackson after he died, like the Circus Soleil, some things like that, and he didn't get the contract and everything. He tried to shop a book deal, and that ain't work. So kind of the family and a lot of people are saying, even like what's the kid named Corey Feldman, who knew Michael and stuff. A lot of grown celebrities who were kids who were saying the things with Mike never happened. And, what you think about it, man? Why now, I guess a lot of people are saying.
Why now is definitely a valid question to ask. And two, man, what's up with these documentaries? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think Harvey Weinstein documentary.
Right.
Where you at with that? You got enough money to put that together, but you capping so hard for Weinstein and the white boy. But
Yeah,
but
I didn't feel like I don't think people understand that documentary is for entertainment purposes first, then educational. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And depending on who financing it, like you say, who producing these documentaries, it will become from they going to control the narrative of that documentary.
Right.
And for what I've seen, some people they see documentary like, oh man, Michael Jackson did it. How come they didn't catch it before? Same thing with the R. Kelly thing. And I was like, these things are meant to make you emotional and then make you feel a certain type of way about things. You know what I mean? So, and not saying documentaries are not valid because they are, but I feel like a perfect example. I'm a big fan of Hidden Colors. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The whole series Hidden Colors.
Yeah, with Tariq.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I don't rock with everything he says in there, but I rock with some of it. And for me, when I watch the documentary and I find it to be interesting, after I watch it makes me want to read up and research my own thing to come to my own conclusion rather than let the documentary lead me to the narrative of what they want me to believe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like that what this documentary with HBO by Michael Jackson is doing. They want you to believe that he was guilty. If he is or not, hey, I don't I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I try to be very objective by these things. I try not to be emotional about these things. So I think keep that in mind when watching different documentaries.
And I also look at it like when you hear people through social media and the internet before the documentaries coming, you've always heard the Michael Jackson talk, the Michael Jackson jokes. But then it's also like, especially with black people, it's almost like we can joke on it. But then when you actually want to put it on Front Street, then people want to be like, how can you do that to Mike? Well, you just said that, right? Yeah. Behind closed doors. So do you want to open the Pandora's box and look deeper? Or do you just want to make it some little legendary myth that could be or could not be,
Because I think we all agreed that they was out for Michael Jackson, like the system in a sense. So, yeah.
But he did some. I mean, he did some weird stuff though. But
on top of that,
I mean,
yeah, we
can't.
I
don't know too many grown men that got 7-year-old friends and stuff like that. But they say Michael Jackson was a special case. Obviously, he was.
Yeah, and you dealing with anybody on that type of creative genius and that type of platform or career, most people are kind of screwed up in the head somewhere. Not justifying his thing, but usually that's the case with look at Tina Turner. I mean, it's usually there's a lot of pain behind their success. Right. And you never know what you're gonna find when you dig deep into people's past. And yeah, man.
Well, a lot of people in this incident though, they coming for Oprah hard though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But Oprah, always been questionable. I mean, and not knocking Oprah because she definitely worked hard to where she's at right now. I'm definitely not taking that away from her. She broke some barriers as a black woman. I give that to her.
Broke a lot of barriers.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, I know she played the game too. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
So but I bet I wish
I want her to do a documentary on Weinstein and some of these other. I want you to do one on the Vatican and the church. It seems like everybody. I mean, now she got her sidekick Gail just did an interview with R. Kelly. That's cool. You know, Cosby's in jail, but they ain't the only ones.
Yeah.
But it seems like they are the only ones that are being crucified and put on the chopping block. And I'm not saying that they should not be. I'm just saying make the game an even playing field. All y'all guilty. All y'all got to go.
Yeah,
Don't be selective in who you choose, you know?
I mean, but, you know, it's their money too, though. So they're going to protect whoever their best interest is. You know what I mean? And I get that. I mean, because I know if I was a billionaire, I want people to tell me what I'm doing with my money too. Like you're gonna support what matters to you. I get that. So for me, I just want us as a people to realize that these people aren't human. You know what I'm saying? I think especially black people, I think we so quick to put celebrities on pedestals. And man, you know, we idolize them, and we get so disappointed. You find something wrong about them every time.
Right.
And you know, it's something wrong with everybody because we're human beings. You know what I mean? Right. So. We need to quit setting ourselves up for the okie doke. Basically, you know, we keep doing that. You know, like for example, the whole Kanye thing and the whole Kanye and Trump thing that happened for the past couple of years. And I'm thinking, like, how many of y'all changing our political views based on what Kanye's saying? Like, who listening kind of like, you know what, he's right. Let me be a Republican now. You know what I mean? Who allow that type of influence? You know,
right?
So to me, if you are a lost cause from the get go.
That's
true.
What
I mean, so. And that's what I felt about it, because like, yo, I don't rock with he was. Of course, I do not rock with his views. I don't rock with him, you know, endorsing Trump or anything. But I'm the type of person I just ignore it, because like, at the end of the day, he's just an entertainer. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, you say he's just an entertainer. So from that aspect, not even about Kanye, we're gonna go switch it back to Mike and R. Kelly. Do you think their music should be muted or not played or sold or canceled? Because they ain't gonna cancel Michael Jackson. I don't care what they say. You can believe it all you want. It's too much money in the Michael Jackson brand for too many people to make beyond the Jackson family. So that ain't gonna be no muting on that. Yeah. You could miss that.
I do believe R. Kelly should be canceled or muted, and that's because, and I'm not talking about the new case. I'm just talking about, because like I said, for the new case, I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know anything about that. Those are just right now allegations.
You would have already muted him.
Yeah.
And when I say mute, it's when we say mute, do we mean corporations and radio stations should like, oh, we're not playing them, or should it be up to the individual to be like, I'm not rocking with him, I don't want to hear that?
I think it should be up to us, just for the fact that we live in a capitalist society, so we can't expect companies to do this stuff. We have to do it for ourselves, for one. And then two, he been canceling my book based off the past, because the past is not hearsay. There was an actual video. Right. Like he went viral before the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like people had his videos on DVD selling on street corners nationwide. Right. So it's not like, oh yeah, we heard about him and certain age girl. Like, no, there's actual videos out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he should mute it then. So that would trip me out when the whole documentary came out on Lifetime. Like, well, I ain't mute him by now. You know what I mean? Like, right. So, but now you'll mute him off allegations instead of the facts that was presented years ago. So, yeah, I just think it's kind of ass backwards to me.
Okay. And then switching gears a little bit, since we still kind of on a political look, Bernie Sanders was on the Breakfast Club this week. And I think a lot of people, he had a lot to say. I don't know where to sit with it. But the biggest thing to me was the whole reparations thing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he doesn't necessarily want to say monetarily wise, black people should get reparations. But Jews have and continue to. But what's interesting is how this is like the new thing now. But he said that last go round.
Yeah, he said it last go round.
It's not like it's new.
It's nothing new, because I remember when he said the last election cycle, and this right after Killer Mike endorsed him, and I had a problem with it then. And I remember I hit a Killer Mike directly about it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And he actually responded to me. That was funny. And we went back and forth. It was like it had to be like 2:00 in the morning. And basically when Killer Mike was telling me kind of like the lesser two evil type of argument. And I'm like, I'm not rocking with that, And then like even today with this argument, I'll read some of the comments on the Breakfast Club, and people feel like, this whole reparation topic is this divisive. It's a Russian bots interfering in our election again. I'm like, no, bro. Like,
it's crazy how they say it's the Russians interfering with election, but it's a problem. I won't even say it's a problem. I honestly think black people know we're never gonna get what's supposed to come to us, but you can't just act like that 40 acres and a mule promise was never fulfilled.
Right.
And then when you talk about situations throughout the country, even back then, Tulsa, Oklahoma and everything, when they burned down communities, ran all the black people who, when they had their towns and cities, they burned it down, then they sold the land for cheap. And white people they do what they do. I mean, they came up.
My problem with it is, like I said, for the fact Bernie asked the question all wrong. Basically, what Bernie Sanders was offering in the interview, he was basically offering us basic civil and human rights that we should already have as citizens anyway.
Right.
To me, that's not reparations. That's something we supposed to already have anyway. And like I said, I have a problem with that. He didn't keep that same energy when he came to his own people when they get reparations. And most people get reparations, they got about the people who wronged them. And then when they did get reparations, they got land and money. They don't offer me government programs where you still in control of everything. Like that's bull. You know what I mean? So but some people buy into the hype, man, because this one black guy actually said he rather had the programs than the land. Like, yeah, I rather had the programs than the empty pile of land. I'm like, you idiot. It's real estate. You can't make more land. This is it. This is valuable real estate, But I don't like the fact that every time it comes to black people in reparations, so long ago, it costs too much money, we can't do this. But for anybody else, somehow that shit is possible. Mm-hmm. I find that to be amazing. And, and like I said, I know we're not getting our reparations here. My whole point in bringing it up is, if these people ain't pro-black for you, why are you being pro for them? That's my thing.
Okay.
Don't be rocking like, I'm tired of seeing black people over there. Well, Bernie 2020, Bernie this, or any other candidate. They could apply to Kamala Harris or Cory Booker for his 10 followers he may have. But you shouldn't be pro anybody if they ain't pro you. And if you too ashamed to say you pro-black for us, we should be too ashamed to vote for you. I mean, that's why I see it, because my thing is, it's a time out of your day to go out and vote.
That's true.
Some people in the last election round sitting in the line for like 3 hours just to vote. That's time and money.
That's true.
I'll give you time and money. You don't want to acknowledge me and acknowledge I've been wrong. And then you want to offer me some basic stuff that I should already had already. You know what I mean? And so, that's my whole point of mentioning it. Because anybody who's first of all, it's going to be no candidate they're going to be pro-black running for president. Y'all had to get over it. Obama wasn't pro-black. I mean, I know he had his whole romanticized history of him, but he wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we had to get over that. You know what I mean? And then realize that there's more people in the streets doing more for us than on the inside.
Okay. Well, when Bernie spoke with the Breakfast Club, he said, he didn't fit. He thought the prison industrial complex needed to be abolished. He also said that no company should be paid on people going to jail, because we know that's why so many black men are continuously getting locked up. He talked about closing some jails, getting more health care for Americans and stuff. He had outside of the reparations, some of the stuff. Answers. He had some interesting points. Where you sit with them?
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I like seeing it thrown totally under the bus.
Because I say that because at some point we're gonna have to eventually vote, and you're gonna have to. Nobody's gonna be 100% of what you want, but who are you gonna get some wins out of, and who has a chance of winning? That's how and I know how you feel about voting,
right?
But we gotta think realistically too, because if you don't do something, it's still gonna move over you.
Yeah, I just feel like exactly. I feel like you're gonna be screwed no matter who's in office, for one, two, and two, it will continue to be that way until we as black people learn we had to get our money up before the money matters more than the vote. We put so much emphasis on the vote, the whole vote and die campaign, vote this, vote that, but you don't want to change your spending habits. To me, that's ass backwards. Everybody putting their money into what they want. Mm-hmm. That's why they have super PACs. That's why you got lobbyists. They pay for what they want.
Right.
We the only ones that doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, how many black lobbyists we have in Congress? You know what I'm saying? So until we willing to change the way we spend our money and put our money together, no matter who we vote, it won't be to our benefit. So that's why I'm like, that's really the whole point I'm making from my perspective. Like, yo, y'all only doing half the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be crying for change when you're not willing to change.
Well, but that's an interest. I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just disagree with the point of not voting. But from that aspect, who do you put the pressure on to make the monetary issue as important as the vote? How do you get that point of view across? Because I don't disagree with your point of view, but how do we get that out? Because as far as not just standing idle, I don't know. I definitely won't sit there and believe that either.
You got to think about in the past when we had leaders that promoted black community like Malcolm X and whatnot. So they encouraged us to say no.
Martin too.
Martin. You know what I mean? So no, I can't put Martin in that conversation. No, because he wanted to help push the integration agenda, which help us lose money. So I can't put him in that. Okay. So, but I'll put more Malcolm in that one. I'd say not knocking Dr. King, but this on that issue. But of course nowadays we have no true leadership, so you are kind of like out there scattered. So we in the situation now, it's kind of like an each one teach one situation.
Just to go back on the Martin thing, I understand. I don't necessarily know if it was the whole integration process. I mean, I know that was a big thing of it, but I think a bigger issue was that the whole separate but equal was never equal. So that's what reason what
I go deeper than that.
Yeah, it was part of the fight. So I'm just gonna throw.
I go deeper than that. I think the biggest mistake Dr. King made, and our generation in general, what white people had, they thought equal what was better. You know what I'm saying? And so we wanted what they had, and instead of wanting our own. And I think because that messed up mind state, that's just put us back then forward.
Right.
And even though white people at the time, the general public wasn't aware of that, I think the government did. You know, because they saw a black dollar. That's why they were destroying Tulsa and Rosewood and Auburn Avenue. They knew, because they knew how the money was coming together.
I don't think it was a thing of necessarily wanting the full total integration. It was more wanting the equality. I agree. When I say equality, I mean, everybody can go to the same restaurants. I mean, it's a totally different time from now. It's almost like people be like, well, if I was a slave, I wouldn't have did this. Nigga, you would have been doing the same shit you're doing now.
but it's funny, though, because while he promoting that, like I say, going on the other end of Malcolm X and the Black Panther movement as well, like, okay, yeah, we want more. We do want equal treatment, but there was still more pro-black neighborhoods, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like more people from the civil rights movement with Dr. King, they gave their money away at the same time, and the Black Panther Party was trying to warn them about that. Malcolm X and his movement trying to warn them about that.
Right.
And you sit back and look at it. Most of the people who follow Dr. King, look what they're doing. The one that lived, look what they did. Most of them followed the white money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I know what Dr. King originally was going for. I think it was definitely the wrong strategy. Like I say, he said they should have been like, we want better schools for ourselves that's equal to white schools rather than let me go to your white school. Like, just give me the same resources the white schools have for my own school. That's how they should have went about it. And like I say, I wasn't there back then.
That's hindsight 2020.
Yeah. I totally, but that's what I'm saying. That what we should have done. I ain't saying that didn't come to mind or anything. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that what we should have done. But you have to realize too, and if we start putting our money together like the other demographics do, mm-hmm. watch all of a sudden those politicians have black agendas all of a sudden,
right?
Because we have money to give them. You know what I mean? Like, I've noticed as soon as the gay community start putting their money together, laws start changing for them. You know what I mean? The women's movement, they got to put their money together. The law started changing for them. You know what I mean? So it all went out to the money part. You put too much emphasis on the voting part. Money first, then look at the other options. I mean, because then they're going to cater to you because you got the money. They cater to those who got the money. Because like we all know, you run for president, it's a money game. You need money to run, right? You know what I mean? So why would Bernie Sanders go for a black vote? He's not getting that much money from them. But if I dedicate myself to the Jewish people, or I dedicate myself to these other demographics. Oh yeah, I mean he ended up making $4 million. I think the first 24 hours, I believe, it was some crazy number. And I bet you
how much Corey on right?
$20,000. The whole campaign run since February. Oh man, we need to get off Corey. You ride that man hard. I truly believe he's not gonna make it past summer. I don't see him making it past summer. But yeah, I think, and so so if you're gonna vote. I mean, and I'm not sitting here to deny you that. I mean, that's what you want to do what you want to do. I'm just saying, keep in mind, if the money's not involved, it's only so much you're going to get out of it.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Oh, on a sad note, I really wouldn't even, I wouldn't say more sad, more of it just useful, what we used to. The young brother in Oakland that was murdered, man.
Yeah, father.
Stephen Clark, man. Police, they found that they weren't going to charge him. Unarmed black man, same story. What's your take, brother? Rest in peace, my dude.
And sad situation, and you got to realize too, like this is nothing new for us. And that kind of explains my point. This has been going on for years now, since we've been here, and I guess that's one of the things you got to keep in mind. We had to try to protect ourselves as much as we can. And like I said, I know we can't fully protect ourselves from all danger. I mean, we can't do that, but it's a very sad situation, man. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to see that young guy, father.
My thing is when they said let me pretty much read what they said. They said our investigation has included that no criminal charges against the officers involved in the shooting can be sustained. Okay, so what would have sustained the investigation? I mean, he was unarmed.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like I shot you. You killed somebody and say, "Oh, I thought he had a gun." God damn. So
you gotta think about, man, how many cops actually went to jail for killing a black person?
Very few.
Very, very, very few.
Most of them probably. It seems like the ones that getting recently actually black people that actually done killed somebody. So, I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it just proves the world that we live in. Like, don't be so gassed up thinking like this is a whole new America. It's still the same. Mm-hmm. It's still the same. I think some people, like, sad example with the football mom. You know what I'm saying? Hanging out with she I think she was the only black female at that party.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, they may be cool with you, and I ain't saying all people are evil, but we had to move differently. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
We got to move differently, no matter what.
And brother, speaking of like one of the saddest things, we reported on it last year in Baltimore, Maryland. A woman by the name of Jacqueline Smith, it was reported that she was killed by a panhandler. Somebody came up to the car, she gave him money, and then a man and a woman shot and ran off. And it turned out to be her actual husband and stepdaughter. And the sad part about it was when this situation happened, he was on TV all crying. Everybody had sympathy around him. They actually caught these fools at the border. So I hope they burn in hell. Man.
Yeah,
it's like no heart, brother.
Yeah,
and rest in peace, Miss Jacqueline Smith.
Cause like I said, it was stabbing, right?
Yeah.
Like how like personal that is to stab somebody. Like it's one thing to shoot somebody in the head. You know what I'm saying? Like this person living and breathing, going through it, pain. You watching them bleed, and you watching them taking their life away. And they even gave a motive for that.
Nah,
no.
But
that's
her
crazy.
family was pretty. I read that one. I think it could have been her brother. when it first happened, he called flag on the play all along, and he said it was her husband.
I read that, but I want to know why we came to that conclusion so quickly. He must have knew something else was going on behind the scenes.
Well, they didn't come to the conclusion. Well, the police did a thorough investigation. We always knock the police, but they really did a thorough investigation on this. But it's kind of like you can't look at the police and say they should have known.
No. I ain't blaming police, but I want to know
if that was in his family, he knew something was going on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I like what else was going on in that family for him to immediately say, "Oh yeah, that was a husband all day." You know what I mean? Like
right,
like the family knew. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what else was going on behind the scenes before this went down that they knew it was a husband all along?
Right.
You know, there had to be something going on before then. You know. Yeah, and I went digging. I couldn't find anything at the up to this time.
Yeah, because when the situation happened, her husband he said the person came up to the car and said, "Please help me feed my baby." You know, it's a sympathetic thing. Rolled down the window, and then he said she got stabbed, and they tried to steal her wallet, which led to the struggle. So he planned this.
Yeah, premeditated with the stepdaughter, and but I think
that was his daughter, her stepdaughter.
Yeah. Okay. And
it wasn't her child. It was his child.
Yeah, but we knew something fishy from the get go when we heard the story because that just sounded strange anyway. And
not to say a parent handler wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but most of the time you give them some change, they gone, or a few words might be exchanged, positive or negative. But normally you don't.
And then they came back. Just that they do the first time out, and what I really hated, about the situation about them lying, that they said that a lot of people stopped giving homeless money after that happened.
Right, right.
So a lot of homeless people suffered because of that, because of their lies. Yeah, so I hope they need to be under the jail.
What's going on? Break down your man Terry Crews this week, dog. What's going on with him?
Oh man, he hasn't learned yet just to be quiet. I think Twitter is ruining lives out here, man. People need access to that platform at all. But apparently he was speaking about fatherhood and the importance of.
He was piggybacking off of what Barack was saying.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is interesting. We gonna all tie this in. Barack was kicking some jewels. About not wearing a big chain around your neck and all that and pull your pants up. But my thing is, I guess the message depends on which Messiah is giving it to you. Because even though Cosby might be locked up, the stuff that he was saying was not wrong.
Cosby said it first.
Oh, he's talking down to black people.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to listen when somebody telling you something you need to be doing. It's like, so you too concentrated on the messenger, but you don't concentrate on the message. Let's get back to Terry Crews.
Yeah, so he was talking about, talking about the whole children need their fathers and everything. And of course, it was like immediate backlash on Twitter. And, so all of a sudden, what about the single mothers? What about the same-sex marriages and them raising kids and whatnot? Then became one big issue.
I think pretty much Terry was kind of saying, I don't want to speak for him, so many ways only a man can raise a man, and even though women do raise men, but you do, just because you do it don't mean that it's right, or just because you could ride a unicycle, that don't mean you want a bicycle with
here's a better way of saying it. He basically said man has a purpose in the child's life. That's basically what he was saying. Is a reason why the father's involved in making the child be part of a child's life. And then of course, after he got all the backlash, he cowered and apologized, which I wouldn't have. People get. My thing is, you don't agree with people. You can't keep everybody happy. I'm sorry, and you an idiot if you're trying to. So if you say something and somebody offended by it or disagree with it, hell, don't follow me, whatever, block me. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, that's your view. That's your view. But we live in society, man. Like, but I think he kind of feeling it now. Like, yo, there's an agenda to get rid of the black man. Period. You know what I'm saying? And they came at him for that.
I think that one thing about Terry, it is what it is. I don't know. when that agent, you know, touched him on, I think he may have emasculated him in the process too. Because brother, you don't stand for shit. I mean, you ain't gotta agree with everybody, but what your opinion was valid. You're not gonna please everybody. If you felt that, say that. It's nothing wrong with saying a man, or either not only a man, but a black man should be in the home helping raise his kids. The problem is we got away from that through a lot of government programs and stuff that pushed the black men out the house, and then some of them were just negligent on their own too. Like I said, that just because it's done and can be done, that doesn't mean that's the most successful
it's
process.
It's funny. If everybody would have been quiet, then you would have said black men ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have been quiet then. But you trying to say, yo, black man, you do have a purpose in your child's life. Now it's the issue now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come on now. F out of here.
Else, let me switch. Speaking of Hollywood and everything, your girl Kylie Jenner, they said she was the youngest self-made billionaire this week. You know, with her cosmetic line and everything. Salute to Kylie Jenner. But, you know, everybody was clowning on the whole self-made thing. Because normally you think of self-made as somebody that pulled themselves up from poverty from the bootstraps. I mean, her daddy was superstar attorney Rob Kardashian, you know, that helped get OJ off. So, you know, you ain't come from nothing, sweetheart, you know.
Yeah, like you came out the projects having nothing.
You know,
Kool-Aid, no sugar, milk, no cereal.
It's a few people you can help thank you for catapulting to your stardom. You know, your sister in her bedroom expeditions, you know, was
I'm pretty sure that had nothing to do with it.
You know, I'm pretty sure that had nothing to do with bringing it life. You know, I think maybe you know, Ray J and Tiger, they feel they might have some stock in helping starting your startup from some form of fashion. But man, you know, salute. Yeah. You know, my boy, what's the rodeo man? Travis Scott.
Yeah.
You know, I guess he knew what rodeo he was getting on that $1 billion train, boy.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah, he saw it.
And speaking of the Kardashian family, what's up with Mr. West?
Oh yeah, man.
He said he's suing EMI for his publishing contracts. He said he can't retire. So now they're clowning him. They're saying, I guess slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
I guess you did sign the paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah, he signed it. I mean, he made that bed. He got to sleep in it now, huh?
Yeah.
You know.
But no, Kanye gonna come out of it.
Yeah. And you know, and it really, I mean, I don't know all the details of that contract. But you got to think about, like, Sade technically still signed, but she was only dropping an album in a decade. I mean, so I didn't see anything in the contract like he had to drop an album every year type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Technically, Outkast still signed. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I guess, you know how people, they just take the smallest detail and run with it. So I don't think it's as bad as we think it is, to be honest, you know. But yeah, I think he's going to come out on top regardless.
Okay.
I actually look forward to hearing the new album, because I've been seeing clips of him in Africa. It seems like he's having a good time over there. So
I thought we canceled Kanye. Not me personally, but
I didn't. I didn't
cancel him. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I didn't cancel him.
That goes to the whole thing of worshiping celebrities. Like,
like, you know,
you put too much pressure on them. Let them make their music or do what they do. But when you start listening to them, hey.
I'm not gonna cancel you over political views. If that was the case, there'd be a lot of artists I would have canceled. Yo, Hillary Clinton was against black men. And guess who endorsed Hillary? Beyonce, Jay-Z, Pusha T. I mean, the list goes on. Kerry Washington. I mean, like, they go on and on and on. And nobody ain't canceling them out. You know what I mean? And you know, and again, Hillary Clinton and her husband were throwing black men in jail left and right.
So, free Kanye.
Yeah, man.
And on that note, Black and Blue, we're going to get at you next time. Peace.